We play.
We fight.
We conquer.
Welcome back to the Freak Show. I am your host, Bumpy McSquiggums, and sad times are ahead of us in SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays. And we are taking on Julia, or Julieta, in her Julia, as Amida, and of course as Naze. And we are going to also attempt to escape with all of our small container vessels remaining, which I guess means we have to destroy everyone. And yeah, this will be an interesting situation. We already have all of everything, actually, every single thing, from the Hammerhead to Amida's Hayakurin, something along those lines, to the Gundam Flaros, the Ryusei Go, to the Gundam Gushion Rebake Full City, to the Ride and Go. So, I mean, like, literally everything is ours. We don't have to worry about gathering anything. We just have to figure out how in the blue blazes we're going to keep these things alive. Because I honestly do not have a clue. So I think what we're going to start with is raid link up. Oh, that's so bad. Alright, Alright, well, let's get into range and see what we can do damage-wise. You won't lay a finger on the turbines. Oh, that was a thing that we did. Come on, kid. Well, I know the race. Wait, the Flaros doesn't have the. Aw, it's fine. What if we raid link up now? We literally just hit that one, huh? If we move there, I don't have the range for that either. Crap. That's kind of a problem, actually. I won't let Gallahorn do as they please. Tell them, Ride. Alright. So I guess I'm going here, and I'm going to raid link up this one, multiple lock. Alright, Ryusei Go, and I will beat up all the bullies. You tell him, Shino. Good. We're killing at least two of them off. Take a smack upside her noggin. Let's see here. Go for the long barrel. That's fine. A little bit of the old damage. It's trying to kind of do a little bit of damage to everything, really. Alright. Then we got this going on. Well, I mean, we're gonna have some assistance. Are we not? Wait, what? Wait, there's no support fire? Huh. That seems strange to me. Alright. Get him, Amida. Don't underestimate me, punks. Yeah, you tell him, Amida. Oh no. Apparently I overestimated her. Didn't do anything. Alright, the Ride and Go. Good job. Damage, counter. Gallahorn, I won't forget what you did today. Tell him, Ozzy. Ride and Go again. And maybe we evade right now. Alright, Gushian. Rebake full city. Let's go with this. Pretty big damage numbers there. Yeah, let's go with this. Conserve a little bit of our overall energy. Alright, Lofter. Your time to shine, girl. I'll protect our family, I promise, sister. Get him Ryuseigo. Or the Ryuseigo, as it were. Well, it sounds the same, but there is a difference. Yeah, this is still probably better, honestly. Wait, did we miss? Oh, the Julia didn't come after us. It's interesting. All right. Okay, I think she's in range of something. She is. Alright, we're going to try to double link these two. Hopefully that's going to be enough. It's not. Dang. It's really close though. Really, really close. Alright, and on this side of life, the rifle will be more than enough to take you out. On your final step. Right here, bayonet rifle, attack. Good. Suppose at this point we just got to make sure that we get the kills, right? So how much damage are we going to do? 55-18. 55-18 should be enough to take down both of these two. I think we moved down toward dealing with these others. Alright, we're gonna have to hope for the Gushian Rebake Full City to be able to do a little bit of work here. Now, I think my goal is going to be hitting right here with the raid link up. And we may have to fudge the numbers a little bit here. No, we don't. We just go there. Nope, I gotta go one lower. Sorry, raid link up. There we go. We go there, we do multiple locks here, and a multiple lock there, and then confirm it. We'll do pretty good damage on all of these. Give me another shot for... Nope. Another shot on this guy. It's just fine. And then do we take the shot on you, or do we let the... I think we let the ride and go handle him. And I'm just going to do some damage to this. It's crit. It's not bad. Attack. Rifle. Freebie shot there. The ride and go to move here. Can the ride and go reach the other? Not. Got a free hit there. Again, not a lot of damage coming out from the ride and go, but not too bad. There we go. So that's left us with 4, I think 7, 8 8 left on this side. Meanwhile, over here, $43.84. Okay, it's fine. What if we do move within range here? We go for the ramming. 52.61. Okay. Pretty solid choice there. And then 47.17. Counter was missed. It's just the Julia and Amida's Hayakurin. There we go. Alright. Get him, Ozzy. Don't let up yet. Puts us in a pretty good spot, I dare say. Oh, you done made a huge mistake, buddy. You made a massive mistake there. You might have gotten that hit, but you were going down for it. Alright, Laughter. I'm gonna go for the evade on this one. A counter on this one. Alright, good. I'm glad they're going after Naze. Higher chance to hit? I think we go for the higher chance to hit. Yep, that's not gonna happen. Okay, guess we're gonna ram back. Ooh. Oop, I didn't mean to skip the dialogue there. Sorry, I'm so used to playing solo some of this stuff. Oh, you are pretty messed up. Come on, man. Really? Good job, Amida. Do you have any skills? You do not. And if you go into melee range, how does that work? 80%. That's some output. Is that a new Ariane Rod model? I can tell from one pass, this one's a strong opponent. She dodged. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay, alright, take that shot on him. We're gonna try to get the Rebake Full City over to help. It's not canonical, that's how that goes down, but if it was canonical, a girl would be doing a little bit more than getting owned by, well, what's her name? Julia, the Julia, or Julieta. Alright, the ride and go. Alright. We need you to go and do some damage against this one Lofter, if you'd be so kind. Ready to link up. I can do better. Link up. 48. Okay, 48's the dream. got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3. That's all 3 of those guys down. Supercharged. I don't know, maybe this final strike will be enough. I doubt it, but maybe. You never know. Be like 8,000 maybe? Not even. Oh, and it just burned our supercharged as we got hit. Dang. Alright, see ya. Maybe I should defend. I am Master Rustel's sword. For Master Rustel's sake, I refuse to be outdone by anyone. Is that your resolve? As long as you rely on somebody's support, you'll never rise to the top. Man, that hit hard. That hit hard? We won't go down like this. Amida, I don't know what you're gonna do, girl. You need to come up with something. Oh, we're trying to back away and let the others come and throw some assistance our way. Alright, might as well, again, check it out there. 4,100, not too bad. Alright. Oh god, no. Definitely don't want to do that. I misclicked slightly, that almost cost me. That would have been bad. The old ride and goes, leaving the hot dogs behind. So they kind of look like flying hot dogs, you know? Now, she's not healing, and we are. See if she goes after... Well, who she goes after, I guess. Ugh. I'll get her morale's going up. That's what we need. She should survive it. You're full health at this point. So we're gonna have you do a melee attack on her. 3656 versus 5400. It's so much damage. But the Guxian's close. Should be able to get there in the next turn. Go, hot dogs, go! I'm gonna say we counter for this. Laros up. Attack at max range. Probably gonna miss 28%, but hey, you know what? It's there. We chucked it out. We tried. That's it. That's all we needed. Why won't she stop? Why can I not stop her? How can there be such a gap between us? Yeah, so you know, Julieta there. She had, you know, like the top of the line. Oh no. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, she's got a top of the line, like the Arianrod fleet's fanciest, most impressive mobile suit that they've made, the most advanced, so on and so forth, right? And this is not counting any Gundams that exist on Galahorn or on Tekkadan or whoever's side, right? And then we go back to Amida. What she's piloting is the Hayakurin, or the Hayakurin, something along those lines. Anyway, she's piloting that, and the first time we saw that is when they were initially going up against Hekiden. And the only mobile suits we had experienced up to that point, I believe, were the Greys. And then we had like the Greys Custom, and I'm trying to think, did they have any more space before that? No. I think right after that, it was this is literally the second mobile suit outside of the Barbatos that we ever saw. So this is, you know, like old school, very kind of weak. They had the Sheedens. They've had like some other offshoot that Lofter was using before this. And then whatever these mobile suits are on the right now, I can't remember what they're called. And then they have... Oh, I'm trying to remember what else they have on... they have the Hugos and some other stuff on the side of Gallarhorn. I think the Hugos were actually pirate ones, but still. Regardless, she's basically using an antiquated, outdated, kind of moved on from mobile suit. And her mobile suit was able to go toe-to-toe, keep up with, and even outperform and start beating the Julia, the Risenglaze, or something like that. Was it? It was, yeah, something along those lines. Anyway, the Risenglaze or something like that, right? Anyway, so she was actually defeating Julia until this happens. More of them? I won't let anyone else die today, even if it means everybody gets arrested. Again, trying to surrender. Signal flare spotted from enemy assault ship. It's a surrender signal. That would be out of the question. To stand beside Master Rustle, one must be prepared to be heartless. All ships, open fire on the enemy assault ship. Well, there's a problem with that, but let's see if they tell you. Ugh. They're firing? They won't even let us surrender. Then I just have to crush their head. So she goes after Master Rustle. Enemy mobile suit approaching our ship. Is it a kamikaze attack? The dance leaf team. Oh yeah, so they kind of missed one of the points here. Alright, so as she was heading toward the lead capital ship in her Hayakurin, you had the Julia chasing her and battling. Anyway, he told the Dawn Slave team to fire, and then of course his officer's like, but Julieta's still out there. Doesn't matter, fire anyway. So they fire. Julia gets clipped, she doesn't die or anything. But her mobile suit's damaged, she barely survives, and this is what happens to Amida. I'll show you. The most brilliant light ever. And as she's dying, boom, she shoots the ship. It cracks, puts a bunch of cracks, all spiderweb cracks all throughout the windshield, if you want to call it something, all around the command deck where Iak is sitting. But that's all she can do. She's gone. And Naze's like, I see you, Amida. I won't let you go alone. Right, Amida? So he tries to ram the hammerhead forward. Going directly at the lead ship there. And he's no longer there. Women are the sun. The sun has to keep shining. We men would wither up. Always smile for me, Amida. Strongly, boldly, flash your brilliant smile for me. Do that and I can keep my chin up no matter what happens. As long as I can bathe in your sunlight, I'll be... Yeah. So when I said that Iak is kind of the worst, he's kind of the worst. Okay, so there was a little bit more of a personal, uh, some backstory about Naze and how he got to be where he was and what he was doing and all the wives and everything else. Essentially, Amida was like a mercenary, and she did mercenary work for, I want to say, it was like a bunch of, it's like there was like a women's mercenary group that got paid terribly and would have to do jobs that the men deemed too risky and didn't want to do. So she was heading out there to do that, and then at some point, Naze and her ran into each other, and Naze fell in love with Amida, hired her, and started to kind of make waves and everything else. And he married Amida, and she was like his vanguard. She was his protector, and eventually, she had a passion for all these women that were being exploited and abused and all sorts of stuff, from like being, I don't know, just like grunt work, almost like the kids were, right? They were being forced to do all this hard labor and everything else. So anywhere that stuff was happening, Naze would go in, essentially buy the women, and then he would marry them, and he would get to reap some benefits from the marriage thing. But his heart really only truly belonged to one of the women, and that would be Amida. And Naze, according to her, was a great man, so she was okay with, sharing the love of a great man, where most women or most people wouldn't even know the love of could only barely hope for the love of an average man, and blah blah blah. Anyway, it was some disturbing implications in all of it, but overall, it was a kind of an endearing story a little bit, and it's kind of fitting that Amida and Naze kind of went out together. But yeah, it sucked because, of course, tried to do a ceasefire, tried to surrender, uh, was put on the most wanted list, if you will, from Eok getting his hands on an illegal weapon and then using that illegal weapon to frame Naze and the turbans to like be bringing it to Tekkadan, even though he never had any of that, whatever, right? Then you go beyond that, and how does he decide to take them down and defeat them? He unleashes this entire armada. He unleashes all of his mobile suits, and he has multiple mobile suits that are using the banned weapons. It's just, Eok's the worst. He's definitely up there as like some of the worst character, like one of the worst characters of all time in anything. Just ugh. Anyway, brother. That was clearly Orga Itsuka, knowing that Naze is no more. Obviously, all his girls are quite upset now. Tewa's large interplanetary cruiser Sase and a Jasley, kind of the perpetrator, the orchestrator of all this. He is, well, you'll see. With all due respect, sir, are you out of your mind? You're having Naze's funeral here on Saisei. It's my property. I'm free to do with it as I see fit. And really, what's a little funeral? People wouldn't even show. That's beside the point. Naze returned his Asaka Suzuki Cup to you anyway. Yes, which means this isn't Tewa's business at all. Why should I need anyone's permission to throw a funeral for a personal acquaintance in my own home? Old man, Naze was a criminal wanted by Gallarhorn. Your holding a funeral for him would be, once they die, everyone is a Buddha? Essentially, once they die, everything is forgiven. I'm not entirely satisfied with many things about this, might I add. Yes, a great many things. So obviously the turban women are quite upset. It burns me up. Yeah, the turbans got backstabbed big time. It's obvious who was behind the whole thing. It had to be that Jasley guy, right? If you're doing something, we want in on it, Orga. That's not what our fallen comrade would want. Orga? Besides, the rest of the turbines are going to be working for Teiwaz from now on. If we run off half-cocked, it could blow back on them. Naze and Amida gave their lives to protect their family. We can't spit in the face of that. You're right, of course, but still. Yeah, it just ain't right. The old man's on his way out now. It was Naze who died and I who lived. He's the head of Teiwaz. He should know that it's obviously more beneficial to take my side here. Those punks in Tekkadan, or whatever it's called, have gone totally quiet. For all that commotion and not a peep from them? Yeah, talk about a boring bunch of guys. If they came rushing out for vengeance, we'd at least get a big brawl out of it. A fight big enough to drag the old man into it, even. By the way, what's the status with Iakujin now? Well, sir, we received a handwritten letter of gratitude from him. He said he'd be delighted to assist us with you-know-what. Maybe it's time to give that senile old man a little funeral of his own. You mean? Yeah, that'll take a little groundwork, though. We'll also need to get those Tekkadan guys to man up, whether they like it or not. After all, the bro they revered so much always believed in doing anything for women. You can't just not look out for them, isn't that right, Tekkadan? Oh, man. This guy's also the worst. Contact Iakujin. Yes, sir. It's high time we put Tekkadan out of commission for good. Now this is where this broke me here. If they might even show it. Kind of hope they don't, but that's bad enough losing Naze and Amida. But we ain't done yet. You called, Master Rustle? I wanted to discuss your recent involvement with the turbines. Yes, sir. Was it Jasley Dominicals that provided you intel? That's right, sir. I offer my sincerest apologies for mobilizing without your authorization. However, this will put a considerable damper on McGillis's activities on Mars, and McGillis is looking into the armaments that you brought from headquarters. Brought from headquarters. Pardon? Lord Kujan, listen to me. What we need more than anything else is order and moderation. I want you to think long and hard about what that signifies. Yes, sir. Oh, no, they're gonna show it. No. Alright. So, Lofter. Alright, so Ozzy Eco had noticed while they were spending time with the Tekkadan lads that Lofter clearly has feelings for Akihiro. And Lofter didn't fully even realize it herself. And then she kind of admitted it, she did, and so on and so forth. And even Amida kind of knew. She figured it out as well. And she told them, if you find a man that you're going to love, it's going to be the greatest thing in the world, blah, 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 to go and follow your heart, essentially, right? That's what she told Lofter and any of the other girls that, sure, they were married to Naze, but it was less of a traditional marriage, obviously, with the multiple wives thing. And Naze would be happy for his wives, as long as it wasn't Amida, to go out and, find their own little family and so on and so forth. So she went there and kind of talked to Akihiro, who doesn't really... He's getting better about the whole not being human debris thing anymore. But he doesn't really understand what love is and or how she feels exactly. And they hug. But she decides that she wants to stay with her family and protect her family. So she fully admits to having feelings and loving and actually being in love with Akihiro, but she decides not to go with him, which that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why the writers decided that this was a good idea and then to do this. Anyway, she decides, yes, this is real love. I've never felt this way before. This is something different. It's, blah, 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 blah. So instead of pursuing that, which I have the blessing of my family who wants me to be happy and to go do this thing, and I want it too, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back with my family, back with the turban ladies, and not follow through with Akihiro. It's real weird. Like, it made no sense. But you keep thinking maybe she will go back to him. So Ozzy and her doing a bunch of buying stuff up on the Sase, the turbans, main base of operations. And she goes to this bear factory. I think I splurged a little too much. It's been so long since we've gone shopping. Yeah, well, once our new job starts, we won't have much time for this kind of shopping. Yeah. Oh, what's up? I forgot to grab something at the last shop. I'll be right back. So Ozzy goes back to one of the shops. She left like her bag or something behind. Want me to come with? Nah, it's okay. I'll just be a sec. So then she's run along and she goes to what you see there, the bear factory, and there's a bunch of little teddy bears. All of them are happy, smiling, all this stuff. And then there's one with large eyebrows. It's kind of frowning. He's got a grimace on his face. There it is. Aw, that's adorable. Huh, this one's giving me a look. It's kind of perfect, in a way. Excuse me, I'd like to get one of... Pardon? Lofter's been killed? What? Who did it? We're not sure yet. I'd put money on it being one of Jasley's hired goons, though. Right after Lofter got killed, they suddenly showed up at McMurdo's place. McMurdo showed them the door, no surprise there, but it's shaping up like some of the Tewa's execs are siding with Jasley, and McMurdo's preoccupied trying to put out that fire. Those slimy scumbags. Ozzy's been beside herself, saying it's all her fault for looking away. Damn it, we should off that Jasley guy. We can do it right now. Hell yeah, it's more than just revenge. If we don't, who knows what'll happen to the turbans? Boss? Orga? Boss? Orga, please, give us your orders. Akihiro, you... Yeah, it's much less devastating in this format. Oh, that hurt. Lofter. That was, yeah. I had to actually walk away. I had to go like clear my head after that. That one messed me up. Everything's laid out and set. A bunch of frothing mad rats will come to take a bite out of me as they come running out in force. I shoot them down from behind and wipe them out, taking my vengeance. Exactly. Then all that's left is for me to escort you to Saisei on schedule. I know, you want me to arrest McMurdo Barristan personally, right? If you would be so kind. A body is easily bruised when it's beaten enough. Likewise, charges are easily fabricated. Yes, I hear you. I'll handle it. It's very much appreciated, sir. Now I can finally wipe that last annoying speck of dirt from my eye. I'm gonna wipe something from your eye in a minute, buddy. Ah, now I understand completely. So this Eok guy, he's a henchman of Rustle, the guy you're up against. If we can get proof of his crimes, that would help you, right? Yeah, we're looking at Eok on our end. If your group was to go up against him and kill him, I would be happy to show my support. Either way, success or train wreck, we're not going back to Tewa's. We're going back to being a pack of stray dogs. Do you still have use for dogs like us? My hands are joined with yours. We will share the same fate. Come what may, I will never betray you. Once Galahorn is mine, I will see to it that Mars belongs to your group. We won't betray you either, whatever may happen. Sorry and thanks. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Yeah. I'll grant you this, sir. It's certainly no skin off our backs. If anything, this is a windfall for us. Well, then, let's get this started. Okay, I think we're gonna break off the episode here. I don't want this to go super, super long, and we still actually have the main mission part of this. So we did the mission, then we're gonna have where we sortie our own people, and we get into whatever that mission is going to be. So I'm gonna break off the episode here, and the next episode we'll continue on with the storyline, and we'll get into the mission, and it'll be great. That way we don't have like a 75-minute episode. I don't know how much more story it is. I assume it's gonna be wrapped up relatively quick, but there could be a lot more that happens between now and then. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for checking out the game. It's a lot of fun. I'm really, really enjoying playing it. And if you don't care about the storyline aspects of the game, guys and gals, which you should, I think, because they do a very good job. But you could absolutely skip all the storyline stuff, just playing through the missions and the sorties and all that stuff, and you will still have a lot of fun because the gameplay itself is excellent. And yeah, just high praises from me, I suppose. Anyway, that's it. Till the very next episode, I have been your host, Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show. We play, we fight, we conquer.